First of all, I watched first episode, really enjoyed it. Now, if you could describe the show in one word, what would it be?
Heroic.
What sort of inspired you to come up with the show?
Well, Hank and I read the book on which it's based, and it was a Cold War, nuclear Armageddon type book. And we grew up in the Cold War and felt that kind of fear as kids. But we wanted to find a way to update for a modern audience that kind of story. But we love the idea of being confined on a ship while the world is going to hell around you. So that got our wheels turning. And then we were thinking about modern day things that could destroy the world, and we thought about the viruses and pandemics and what an amazingly dangerous and invisible enemy they could be. And so that just got our wheels spinning. And then I'd done some research and learned about the permafrost melting and ancient microbes being released into the air, and that became our starting point. And sure enough, a year later, they actually discovered that happening in the Arctic. We knew it then. I mean, I'm glad it's not a dangerous virus they found, but so it sort of snowballs, and any idea when you're doing a creative project starts with what if. What if this, what if that? And you go, oh yeah, well what if this happens, and what if that happens? And it sort of turned into this story. And then on top of that, this idea of the Navy gave us a real chance to create a new world. Television's also about creating a world that the audience can come back to every week that's unique, whether it's the bar at Cheers or the precinct house on The Closer or whatever. You want a place people can kind of be familiar with. And we haven't seen this show like on a Navy ship as far as I know, maybe since like Seawolf or something. So for us it was a cool opportunity, and the Navy was willing to kind of play along with us because they liked our ideas. And so we thought, here's a chance to create a cool world in a new environment, tell unique stories, but stories that are also very universal: leadership, friendship, humanity, how to behave during extreme situations. And so it just became a great cauldron in which we could sort of mix up some great stories.
And now, the first episode starts really strongly, and you set up a lot of things for the show. Now, where do we go from here? Can you give us sort of a preview of what the first season will look like?
Well, the first season is primarily centered around the goal to help the scientists find what she needs to make a vaccine or a cure. So every mission is based on a certain need. We need food. We need fuel. We need to fix our engines. Our water system broke down. The scientist needs more beakers. The scientist needs monkeys to do research for her vaccine. So where are we going to find monkeys? Well, how about in Central America? So those sort of dictate where our missions are. And then, of course, we have certain enemies that come at us that change our course, and certain things that throw us off our mark. But basically, it's as opposed to a Star Trek where they sort of travel from place to place and just encounter things, we have this urgency throughout the whole season about the longer we take, the more people die. We don't get the vaccine, we can't go home, we can't see our families. We got to do this, we got to stay alive. And then you see the reactions to people and how does a ship survive this? I mean, these ships are usually cleaned up and updated every time they're in port. They get food and fuel on a daily basis. Now they're having to make things last and make do with things and jerry-rig things that are breaking down. And the crew morale is being shaken because they've lost so much, and now they've got to do this mission. And is it going to work? Does the captain know what he's doing? Should I be following this captain? So it's sort of you put the situation into play, and then let it go, let it unfold, and the stories tell themselves. And we sit around the writers' room thinking, what would happen if this happened, or what would happen if they saw this, or they heard a voice and they wanted help? Can they go to it? That kind of stuff. So, it was really just a great concept that allowed us to explore a lot of interesting to us issues. And we hope that the audience will come for the action and adventure and stay for the characters, and then hopefully think about it after it's off the air that night, between episodes, and think about the other issues that we're bringing up, because we're trying to say more than just look at that thing explode. But the action and the adventure and the hope are sort of what we hope people really enjoy.